All right, Leo, welcome in. This is your turn. We're going to talk about 2026. A lot going on for 2026, and this is going to be kind of a high level video, meaning I'm just going to share with you the main themes based on your astrology. Please watch your rising signs first, okay? This is Leo rising with the astrology, but I am finding that Sun and Moon Leos do resonate with this. So, however it resonates for you, take it that way, okay? So, the main theme for you and for the foreseeable future, for quite a couple of years, I'm going to say to you, because a lot of the astrology that I'm going to talk about is very slow moving. And particularly in your case, your job over the next 20 years is to be the most authentic partner you can be and seek out the most authentic partnership you can find. Okay? You have Aquarius in that seventh house of marriage and contracts. And Aquarians are people who teach you the most. Okay. I'm not going to qualify that as bad or good teaching, but really there is no such thing as bad or good teaching. There's just lessons. Okay. So we'll talk more about the shifts that are happening. 2025 was a little bit of a precursor. So what was going on with you with relationships this year, and how are you metabolizing that, whether it's the beginning or the end or the middle of a relationship, whatever it is. Relationships play a big role, and like who you think you are in relationships maybe under renovation because of the experiences you've had. So the first thing I'm getting here is release. There can be a sense of, I'm going to take the veiled card. There can be a sense of things going on behind the scenes or subconsciously for you. We do have Cancer. You have Cancer in your 12th house. And Cancer in the 12th house has Jupiter there. So there can be some subconscious patterns, 12th house, being expanded on. Okay? Because Jupiter, anything Jupiter touches expands. And whatever's coming up for you, or whatever came up for you, I'll give you the dates and the extended. I won't bother you with that right now. But what I want to say is, whatever you have found to be most challenging, let's say in the last few months, we're going to have a repeat of that, or especially if there's any kind of addictions in your family or in your life, or a person, or even a way of being in the world. Okay. Because Leo in the first house is very much a self-expressive, usually very beautiful, usually very creative, and all of that. So Cancer in that 12th house says you must enjoy me, or admire me, or put me on a pedestal, or something like that, for us to really get along. And to the degree that that's true, I want someone to adore me. What's wrong with that, right? Like, to the degree that's true, Aquarians don't do that. And if they do it, it's very detached. So that may be a challenge. And what I think really is happening here is it's for you to think you're the most awesome. It doesn't come from an external person, right? And if there are issues around nurturance, or let's go the other way, that there's this real expansion of nurturance, Cancer, 12th house, it could be your spirituality that is the most enduring and most powerful nurturance that you find. Okay. We will talk about the North Node moving into Aquarius next year. If you're wanting a deep dive on 2026, I did a 4-hour workshop I've just added the North Node moving into Aquarius, which is really going to impact you. So if you want to grab that, the link is below for that. If you weren't on it live, new life, a new way of being in the world. Lucky. I love that. And courage. So there's definitely some kind of moving out of the unconscious. Moving out of the unconscious. So the things that are under the surface that have come to the fore for you, especially around relationships or who you're being in the world. I really feel like Uranus moving into your 9th house of belief systems is going to shake up how you believe the world works, especially as it relates to relationships. And this whole experience that you've been having can be really powerful. You've definitely had a lot of energy in the spiritual realm with the 8th house Pisces. And that 8th house of Pisces can bring things out of the closet or out of the behind the scenes and become more public. All right. So all of this stuff that's subconscious, 8th house, 12th house, this is a big deal. 8th house, 12th house are all these things. And actually 7th house is about known enemies. 7th house is like the person, you see them right in front of you. This is a person that becomes an enemy or is someone who's teaching you. And you might find that to be, I don't like that. But it's something that forces you to be your most authentic self. Aquarius. And right now we have Saturn and Neptune at the very end of Pisces. And so this is like a time when you're kind of discovering your spiritual connections that could really expand with Jupiter in that 12th house on top of it all. Okay. So underneath is the Page of Cups. There's the High Priestess, without a doubt. Ace of Swords, the Four of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and here you are. Courageous, courageous, courageous. So there might be a partner coming in, or there's a potential of a commitment with a Sagittarius that requires you to be super duper authentic. It also might shine the light on some of these truths that you're discovering about yourself or about how you couple, and this could be business partners too, okay? How you work with another person. 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, the Justice card, Queen of Wands, there's more Leo, 10 of Swords, wow, Knight of Swords, the Death card, Scorpio energy, and Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so there's something about shifting from like a Leo perspective of physical beauty into financial well-being. Taurus, you have Taurus in your 10th house of career. So there's something about other people's money. Like I said about, the 8th house is about other people's money. It's about shared resources. And Saturn and Neptune are moving out of that into that 9th house of my beliefs and my philosophy of life. So if you've had something go on that drained your resources, because I'm seeing this Four of Pentacles, that drained your resources, especially as it relates to maybe a business partnership, could be, or a marriage or an ending of a marriage or something like that, then like this person who thinks that beauty, the Leo qualities are the most important things, I feel like you shift into, no, what nurtures me is the most important thing. So you could end up being really, really focused on you building your own career after getting out of a relationship because it is, kind of testing all of these belief systems that you have, and it moves you in a direction of being more self-sufficient. So you could have either ended some kind of partnership that was bringing you a lot of money or that was supporting you into, I need to be more self-sufficient. I cannot authentically self-sufficient. I cannot rely on maybe my family money or something like that. I do feel like you might be turning your back on that, or expecting something that isn't really there. The 10 of Pentacles and the 4 of Pentacles. So you might be expecting a big payday from somebody and it doesn't really materialize. So your philosophy of life is like, you know what? I am not going to rely on other people to bring me my stability, because this, whatever happens in this, it may have been a little bit this year, whatever is happening, it's showing you that the change that you need to make is recognizing that external validation isn't all it's really cracked up to be. You know, like about physical beauty and things like that. That might not be important when you want a roof over your head, or you want to grow your wealth, or you want to be more self-sufficient. Then what somebody outside of me says or does doesn't matter anymore. Like I'm my best alliance with truth. Okay. And you know, you might be a little bit scared of commitment after you might have had some not so good experiences of commitment. Tell me what the 10 of Swords is. I'm going to clarify the 10 of Swords, please. Because that is like, it's not the beginning of the end. It's the end of a beginning. Okay. It's the end of a beginning that's coming through for you. Or it can't just be the beginning. Look at, because you can see the sun coming up over there, right? Like there's nothing, you know, Neptune and Saturn at the end of Pisces is like, we just got to let something play out. Just have to let it play out, because the sun is going to come up and there's going to be a new day. So I feel like you're changing in a big way because of this, whatever this is for you. 8 of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Sun. There you are again, the 3 of Swords. I just get the feeling that if you ended a relationship in 2025 or 2024 even, the who you are becoming is going to take some time, and it's also going to be based on true authenticity, like I've been saying. You also might have somebody coming around, a Virgo energy or a Sag, that brings up some triggers that you didn't know you had, right? Because that Jupiter energy, Jupiter's in retrograde right now. It's going to go direct March 10th. And Jupiter won't be entering your sign of Leo until, where's my little timeline here? Jupiter goes direct March 10th, and it won't enter your sign of Leo until June 30th. When it enters your sign of Leo, I feel like awesome. I feel like lots of great stuff is going to be happening. But when something's in retrograde, it's going over some terrain or some situation that you maybe have thought was resolved, but now like we're going back over it, right? We have Mercury in retrograde until the end of November, and then next year we have a couple of Mercury retrogrades like we usually do every year. But whenever something's in retrograde, we go back over the terrain. We go back over what happened, maybe internally. And then Jupiter goes direct and says, you know what? This isn't serving me. I'm going to make a change. What is happening right now, Jupiter is expanding maybe something you don't like, or maybe something that you want to change. Okay. Because we've got this Veiled card and the Release card. I get the sense that you thought that something that's going on right now was just, well, this is just the way it is. And when Jupiter goes back over it, I get the feeling that you kind of go, but is it? I can do whatever I want. There's definitely something about, and everything now, all the planets moving into fire signs. We've got a lot of air and fire in 2026. That's going to be really helpful. I feel like this is about who I am and who I am becoming, especially as it relates to relationships, 7th house of Aquarius. Pluto is transiting that 7th house of Aquarius. It is the long soul transformation. And the soul transformation for you is about being really authentic. Now, I'm not saying you're a liar or you are, I just feel like you've protected yourself in many ways for many years, especially in relationships. And if we don't really see, or maybe the person that you're with maybe is kind of a liar, or, I mean, I don't know, like there's a spectrum here, right? Like somebody can present their best side. That seems kind of harmless. But if a person is completely hiding who they are in order to get something from you or whatever, that's toxic. And you might not know until, if you're not practiced at it, you might not know. So if you're not practiced at detecting it. So let me ask about the death card here. Devil energy, Capricorn, 2 of Wands, Hanged Man, and the 6 of Wands. Okay. Wow. With this, I'm not allowed to show any nudity on YouTube anymore. Ta-da! So Capricorn ruled by Saturn, right? Saturn's in Pisces right now. And so this is basically saying, because that is a relationship that has taught you a lot, and you're making decisions now from that place, from that framework of what you have learned from this person. Brava. Okay. You're deciding that, look, this was really terrible. And I feel like that Jupiter transiting Cancer may be something that is showing you a lot of the reasons why something was terrible and helping you change. You could do therapy for the rest of your life. This is for people who are with narcissistic partners, or people who are ending relationships with people who, if you've heard yourself say, wow, I guess I never really knew who they were. That's what I'm talking about. Authenticity is going to be the most paramount thing to you in the future. And if you're doing therapy, what I started to say is, if you're doing therapy based on the framework of the relationship with the person that you thought they were, nope, because you could do therapy forever. If you don't get outside of that framework and see yourself more authentically and more real, then you're not really healing from it. Okay. I will direct you to someone named Richard Grannon, who has like classes and stuff that helps you with this exact thing, that about getting outside of the framework, about you learning about really truly who you are underneath. So the 8th house and 12th house are going to be very important and have been very important. And the 8th house and 12th house are saying to you, you know, what it is that you value or how you got into that relationship may be something that you need to review and maybe change. Okay. Because if you got into a relationship with someone who was like kind of adoring of you, and then they turned into like this mean narcissist, or they're toxic in general, that's what that person is teaching you. Okay. So I'm going to continue on with this reading. I'm going to talk more about the astrology of next year. I'm going to look at what you don't see coming, and we'll see where we go. All right. Link is below if you want to continue on. I'll see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.